this microwave is not working. What happens is that after you make the selection here and press start, it doesn't work. And sometimes you would have to open it and then close it and make a selection again and press start, then it may or may not work. Just a disclaimer, make sure that you know what you're doing. If you're not sure what you're doing, then have a professional electrician or go to a service repair shop and get this problem solved, because all these components over here can shock you, especially the capacitor. So you need to discharge the capacitor. If you're not comfortable doing that, don't do it. Have some professional electrician look at it and work on this microwave. So I've taken the top cover off, and here's where the schematics are. But our focus are going to be on 3 switches. This switch over here, another one over there, and another one right there. And the way it works is that once these hooks goes inside these inserts, they actually activate the switch by hitting that white button over there. And I'll show you. I'll close this just to show you what the top hook does to that button right there. Right there. So I'm going to close it. And you can see the button got depressed. And when I open it, it then props open. So what's supposed to happen is that as soon as the door is opened, that button should immediately come up. So we're going to go ahead and replace that button, that switch, actually not the button, the switch, and do the same for this second and the third. And I just want to show you what happens when I close and the bottom hook goes inside. What happens? What's going to happen is that you'll see one button right there and another button right there. This is upside down, and once you close it, the hook will come and press both buttons on this one and at the bottom simultaneously. I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and close it. So you can see that button got closed and the other button at the bottom got closed as well. These 2 buttons are in good working conditions. But since I'm going to replace one, I'm going to replace all 3 of them. So based on the label over here, it tells you that A, B, and C should be replaced with the right model. So A is over here primary, C is secondary, and B is the monitor switch. So I went ahead and bought it from Amazon, same KW3A, which shows you that you have 1 normally closed and 2 normally open. So this is normally closed and these 2 are normally open. And essentially what that means is when the this is an open switch, so if you press the switch, then the circuit completes. Same thing for this one too. And for this one is that the switch is closed already, and when you press it, it opens the circuit. So the top switch would be a normally open, which is going to be this one. And the other way you can tell this, you can look at the layout of the pin, which is the same here. So this will be on the top, so we'll put it on the top. The second one is normally closed switch, and you can also tell by the pin layout, it's going to be the same. And the button is at the bottom, which is the same over here too. The button is right there at the bottom. Right there. And the last one, the button is on the top, right there. There's a button on the top, which is going to be this one over here. A good idea would be to take pictures of the way the wires are connected. Here you can see you got brown and black, brown black. So and if you took it out, you won't be able to tell. The other good thing is that you can label it. I've labeled this T for top, B for bottom. On this one you couldn't do it, but at least you have colors to show you which one goes on the top, which one goes at the bottom. Yellow on the top, brown at the bottom. And on the last one, the colors of the wires are the same. So once again, it's better to label the on the plastic covering. This one goes on the top, this one goes at the bottom. Okay. Sometimes it's easy to take it out, sometimes it's hard, but this was very hard to take out. And then you're supposed to see if you can slide this out. To get access to this switch and the switch at the bottom, I have to take that black metal piece of black plastic molding out. The other problem is that these are really this plastic goes through the switch, so I need space to take it out, pull it out towards me. I can't slide it out. So I've taken the top screw and the bottom screw out here. And now I'm going to slide this down. And it's now free. So now that it's free, I should be able to take this switch out easily. Of course, it has two brackets on the top and at the bottom. I wonder if I can take it out, the whole bracket. Okay, the whole assembly came out. This is much better. Since I have the whole assembly out, or the fixture, what I'll do is I'll replace, since I took the old one out, and this is the bad one, you can tell, which is normal open, we'll replace it. And then I'll go one step at a time, replace this one and then replace this one. So to put this back in, you'll see there's a notch over here, or a plastic sticking out, and it's going to go into right this way on this particular hole. I'm going to put it in right about now. That's it. I'm going to move on to the next one. This is the second one, which is normally closed switch. So just have to apply force, open it, which are these plastic hooks, and then it slides out. So this hole will go into this plastic piece, and the other one will go on the top. That's it. And the last one is going to be a little difficult because there's not much play here to move this hook over here. So I'll give it a best shot here. Yep, it's not allowing me to. Oops. Actually, I took out the top assembly of the switch. But let me see here. There we go. Came out finally. So actually, this would be a good way to show you how the switch works. So that's the contact right there. So when you press it, you're actually continuing the circuit. So I'm going to put in the new one. It's simple, just align these two holes to these two plastic points and slide it in. And these two brackets over here will secure it. You can see over here that this switch over here is pressing on this switch, and it should also press on this switch simultaneously. So when I close the switch, you can see it's pressing on this switch and on this switch too. So now we're going to put this whole assembly back in. You just have to make sure that all these notches are aligned properly. Here's for one, here's another one. And I think that's pretty much it. Now we're going to put screws, one on the top and one at the bottom right there, and we'll start off from the bottom connection. This one over here which shows the top and the bottom. So I'm going to first put the bottom connection. connection. They have to be secure, so you have to apply some force here. Make sure it's secure. So you gotta put the brown one at the bottom, switch connection, and the yellow one on the top. And the very last connection is, the good thing is that this housing is for these connection is already in one piece, so you don't have to struggle. You just have to slide this in. So once you've made all the connection, you can connect the microwave to the outlet, but make sure not to touch any of the components over here, because these are going to be dangerous if you touch them, especially that capacitor over there. Make sure you don't touch any of these components, and then you can test it out. So the noise is good. I'm going to open the door. So the light came on, and you can probably test it. It's working. That's good. Turn it off. And then disconnect the power supply here. I've disconnected the power, but make sure not to touch any of these components. So all you got to do now is put the cover back on, and that's about it. So make sure all the connections that you took out are put back. I almost forgot about this small connector right here. So earlier I showed you how the open switch works. So you press a button, it makes a connection right there and completes the circuit. And the bounce action is because of this spring of this metal piece. You can see this metal piece, this part over here. This metal is pretty good condition, and that assists in the bounce back. The one which was bad, you can tell it's not working because the spring, the metal piece is depressed, and look at the burn marks over here. Look at the contact, it's all burnt up. That's why this switch wasn't working. And just to show you what the normal closed switch is, you can tell that the contact is already made, and when you press a button, it breaks the circuit.